Hello there. Thank you for visiting iFilm Recap. Today I'm going to explain a movie, Boyka Undisputed. In Kiev, Ukraine lives an MMA warrior named Yuri Boyka. He is the best contender in Europe and has acquired the title of Undisputed. One night, Boyka is battling in an unlawful match held in an underground field. As the group cheers, he could do without the rival getting a solitary hit on him. After a short uneven battle, he throws the rival in midair and takes him out. The scene changes to a most extreme security jail in Russia. The detainees partake in battles for the watchman's and the superintendent's entertainment. Such matches are apparently agreeable to the rest of the world, yet can get exceptionally brutal with the right members. The deadliest detainee ever is a monster of a man named Koshmar. He is forceful to the point that the watchmen need to chain his appendages and close his mouth to guarantee he won't hurt anybody outside the ring. Koshmar's rival is a portion of his size and can barely land a punch on him. He pummels the man to the ground, breaking his neck prior to continuing to hit him upside the head. The battle possibly stops when his face is twisted and canvassed in blood. Koshmar is known for killing each rival he battles against, making them pay. He is all the more a beast rather than a human and has no culpability for killing such countless individuals. In contrast to him, Boyka is a decent man beyond the ring. He hasn't had an extraordinary life as he was detained for a long time and is a needed criminal in Russia, but he has had the option to set his previous aside and is attempting to be a superior individual. He even aids the congregation in Kiev and is continuously accomplishing noble cause work. At some point, a cleric lets him know that he ought to consider picking another calling. The cleric has consistently upheld Boyka's enthusiasm. Subsequently, the remark puts on a show of being a shock to the contender. Boyka answers that his ability is a gift from God and he isn't willing to quit utilizing it. He needs to battle as an expert and not in an unlawful climate any longer. In the early evening, Boyka is moved toward by his chief, who uncovers that he can at long last contend lawfully in authentic MMA matches. The European battling competition occurring in Budapest has permitted him to partake in the opposition on the off chance that he dominates a passing game. Then comes the day of the capability match. Since it is one of the main battles of Boyka's life, he is prepared to give everything. His rival is a Russian man named Viktor. The match starts and Boyka lands the main successful kick. In the initial couple of moments, he shows his guarding abilities, avoiding each and every assault made on him. As Viktor gets more disappointed, it is simpler for Boyka to make an assault. The adjudicators uninvolved are now dazzled, so when he takes Viktor out with a knee to his jaw, it affirms his capability. Everybody thinks the match is finished, however Viktor shocks them by getting up. Seconds after the fact, he is thumped during a time, yet he won't acknowledge it. At this point, Boyka is disappointed, so he handles a third punch all over, thumping him silly. After the success, the coordinators welcome Boyka to Budapest to battle in the association, which will open numerous entryways of chances for him. The manager gives Boyka a heap of cash, requesting that he train hard in light of the fact that the following match is in about 14 days. While leaving, Boyka says that Viktor is in bad condition. He feels remorseful for harming him, that terrible, and couldn't ever have gotten it done, assuming he had surrendered after the main knockout. Boyka recollects the cleric's recommendation and petitions God for Viktor's quick recuperation. Around evening time, he awakens to a bad dream of him killing a rival in the ring. The exceptionally next morning, he goes to the supervisor and asks about Viktor's. To his shock, he is informed that Viktor passed on the previous evening in the emergency clinic. They had marked a pre-match contract, so the fault falls on no one. Notwithstanding, in his heart, Boyka realizes that he is the reason for the passing. After being gotten some information about Vector's family, the supervisor gives him a pack that had a place with him. Inside it, Boyka finds a letter from Victor's significant other and their image together. In perusing the letter, he can feel the aggravation his better half priority gone through when she looked into his demise. Right then, Boyka chooses to apologize to her and ensure she isn't dealing with any issues throughout everyday life. He realizes that his wrongdoing won't be pardoned and, after it's all said and done, however, he would rather not take off from the way of reclamation. Boyka enlightens the chief concerning his desire to go to Russia to meet Victor's significant other, however the person is incredibly against the thought. Boyka is as yet a lawbreaker in Russia and will be detained whenever tracked down by the specialists. He should make a phony visa, which is a tremendous gamble now that he is so near being a genuine MMA warrior. Boyka figures out the results, however, is resolved about his choice. In the accompanying scene, Victor's significant other Alma, who is at his burial service. After his passing, she is separated from everyone else throughout everyday life and has nobody to go to. What's more, she and Vector are obligated to a kingpin named Zawarop. He comes to the memorial service and proposes Alma be his fancy woman to take care of her obligation. Alma is nauseated by his presence, yet she is mindful so as not to make him distraught. She basically answers that she will rather try sincerely and pay him in portions. Alma claims and lives in a public venue. She and Victor fabricated it with the cash they acquired from Zawarop. The spot is home to many vagrants and individuals who are out of luck. On showing up in Russia, Boyka goes to meet her yet sees her being removed in a dark vehicle by a lot of men. Incidentally, she functions as a server in Zorab's underground battling club. He is extremely defensive of her and deals with her like his property. Soon thereafter, Boyka goes to the battle club and finds Alma. At the point when he takes a stab at conversing with her, Zorab's kin stop him. Furthermore, escort him outside. Boyka needs to abstain from battling. Subsequently, he obligingly asks them what time she will get off work. The hoodlums assault him at the inquiry, however, are thus shown a thing or two for playing with an expert contender. Zawarop sees Boyka battle and is dazzled by his abilities. He has been requiring a decent military craftsman in his club and needs to employ Boyka. Nonetheless, the man contends that he hasn't arrived to take part in battles, he essentially needs to meet the woman. Zawarop offers to converse with Alma for his benefit, declining to allow him to meet her. However, Boyka once more can't help contradicting him and leaves. After he is hidden, Zawarop requests that his kin watch out for him. The next day, Boyka figures out how to slip into the public venue and meet Alma. He gives her Victor's letter and inquires as to whether she is being compelled to work at the battle club. Alma answers that she might want to work elsewhere, however is limited by the obligation. She then peruses the letter and inquires as to whether he saw her significant other's last battle. Boyka tells the truth, conceding that he was the last individual Victor battled. He attempts to make sense of that the demise was a mishap, however Alma won't pay attention to her significant other's executioner. Following the cooperation, Boyka goes to Zawarop and consents to battle for him. All nonetheless, thusly, he should fail to remember Alma's obligation. The arrangement is that Boyka needs to win 3 matches against Zorab's preferred adversary. The criminal likewise vows to guard him from the police and specialists since he realizes he got into Russia utilizing a phony visa. The following day, Alma meets Boyka to let him know she needn't bother with his pity. She maintains that him should get back, yet Boyka demands he is doing this for his own fulfillment. From that point onward, he goes to a nearby rec center to prepare for the matches yet is harassed by a man. At the point when the person continues to jab him, Boyka hurls him down with a solitary kick. Then comes the day of the main battle. Boyka conflicts with a nearby warrior in a simple match. The opponent figures out how to land a couple of frail kicks yet is shown to be powerless before somebody as great as Boyka. He figures out how to wreck him and is going to throw the last right hook yet stops halfway. To his alleviation, the adversary acknowledges rout so he doesn't need to hurt him further. After the battle, Alma serves him drinks. Boyka inquires as to whether she knows about a pleasant nearby rec center in light of the fact that the one he is going to write currently doesn't satisfy his principles. Alma mulls over everything for some time prior to welcoming him to involve the exercise center in her public venue. He prepares there for the following couple of days and at last, Alma becomes accustomed to his presence. Boyka's next match is a vs. 1 against a couple of siblings. He is stunned on the grounds that he was never told about these standards. Zaurop flaunts that it is his field and the warriors need to carry on reasonably. The match starts and Boyka battles to safeguard against the two siblings simultaneously. At the point when he attempts to battle one different assaults making it difficult for him to center. In any case, he figures out how to drive one away and wreck the other one in the seconds they take to recuperate. It is an equivalent match until Boyka is kicked in his all-around harmed lower back. The aggravation is excruciating until he sees Alma in the crowd and battles. From that point forward, he kicks both their butts and scores a twofold knockout. The group ejects into cheers as nobody had naturally suspected he would dominate this game too. The following day, Zaurop goes to meet Alma and attempts to play with her. At the point when she redirects his advances, he blames her for laying down with Boyka. He additionally aggravates her by asserting that her significant other's demise wasn't inadvertent and that Boyka intended to kill him. Alma claims to not accept him, however the remark irritates her. In the meantime, Boyka's manager from Ukraine gets back to him right away, in light of the fact that he has a press meeting for the battle in Budapest. Boyka requests that he delay it since he just has one final battle to win. After arriving at his room, he finds Alma sitting tight for him. She asks him to come clean about her better half's passing and Boyka begins enlightening her concerning every one of the difficulties he has looked at throughout everyday life. He reveals that the main portion of his life was loaded up with hopelessness and the match against Victor was his main opportunity to get a superior life. He gave everything and won, yet Victor's demise removed a greater piece of him. He realizes that tolerating his assistance is truly challenging for Alma, yet he implores her to allow him to do what he needs to. Around evening time, for the last match, Boyka conflicts with Igor, Zaurop best contender who has been ridiculing Boyka since the day he showed up. Igor is particularly irate at Boyka on the grounds that he is a danger to his situation in the pack. He generally takes his dissatisfaction out and gives him rehashed assaults. He figures out how to set up an intense battle, making Boyka's lower back his fundamental objective. However, the heading of the battle changes when Boyka lands a twofold mid-air kick on him. Following that, he beats Igor beat up, causing him to drain lavishly until he drops. With this, he wins the whole competition and Alma's obligation is paid. Be that as it may, Zaurop had previously anticipated the result and ready for it. He stops Boyka and reveals that he needs to battle one final person for their arrangement to be finished. Boyka just a brief time before his gathering in Budapest, which is extremely urgent for his vocation, yet he would rather not leave without saving Alma. Thus, he requests that the manager hold on until the following morning and prepares to battle the last boss. The rival is Koshmar, the monster who has battled and killed each of his adversaries in the Russian jail. He has been brought into the field in chains in light of his rough nature. The battle begins, however Boyka is as of now excessively drained. He makes an honest effort, yet his assaults appear to cause Koshmar practically zero damage on account of his body. The monster landed a few punches on him prior to kicking him in the jaw. Boyka tumbles down in light of the effect and struggles with remaining back up. Seconds prior to losing the battle, he accumulates strength and stands up once more, however he is again banged to the floor. At the point when Koshmar is practically certain that he has won, Boyka shocks him and pushes him back with a kick. From that point forward, the battle slants to his side. He holds the monster in an arm lock, breaking his right arm prior to removing him from the ring. With this he at last dominates the game, yet Zaurop still not prepared to relinquish Alma. He makes his crony assault Boyka while he attempts to take off with the woman. Boyka is on the ground at his most reduced when he sees Generally Mai being pulled outside. With re-established inspiration and outrage, he goes after the watchmen and kills them all. Finally, he gets his hands on Zaurop and handles him to the ground. Boyka is shot all the while, however his agony is eclipsed by his indignation. In the long run, Zaurop is choked to death. Alma attempts to help Boyka, however he stops her, inquiring as to whether he has her absolution. In a little while, the police show up and capture him. Prior to being pulled away, he again asks on the off chance that she pardons him, however Alma doesn't give him an answer. Then, at that point, Boyka is returned to a Russian jail. After a month, Alma stays with him and lets him know that he is excused. Boyka is feeling significantly better without precedent for months, despite the fact that his arrangement to turn into an expert warrior fizzled. In the last scene we see him battling in the jail's field, proceeding to hold the title of the Undisputed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more movie recaps.